Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who presides over the Texas Senate, has called the bill one of his 31 priorities for the current legislative session. Abbott hopes to sign SB 12 into law by September 1st. The House of Representatives, San Rep Jared Golden, passed the final version of the Biden administration's $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan spending bill on March 10. The act will now be sent to President Biden for final signing and become United States law. The act's journey through Congress has been a partisan affair, with the House rejecting all but two of the 286 Republican amendments to the gargantuan 591-page bill. The Senate, meanwhile, accepted only 3 Republican amendments in a 24-hour session on March 6. The final version included the removal of Biden's promised $15 minimum wage hike, a reduction of the raise given to the unemployed of $400 per week to only $300 per week, and an extension of the additional unemployment insurance to September 6. The revised act was passed by the Senate 50-49 after Republican Dan Sullivan of Alaska had to leave the marathon session early to attend a family funeral. The final passing in the House was by a margin of 220 to 211, with all Republicans voting in opposition and all Democrats, except for Jared Golden, voting in favour. In a statement, Jared Golden, who also voted against the bill in its original run through the House, said he voted against his Democrat fellows because the American Rescue Plan Act does not fit his principles. This bill addresses urgent needs and then buries them under a mountain of unnecessary or untimely spending, he said in a statement. The governor of Texas, Republican Greg Abbott, plans to sign into law a bill that will prevent social media platforms from censoring the state's citizens' posts. After declaring that censorship won't be tolerated in the Lone Star State, the governor warned that the First Amendment is under attack from social media companies. The bill SB 12 is authored by Republican Senator Brian Hughes and will empower Texans who are wrongfully restricted or deplatformed to file a lawsuit and help them get back on the platform. The Texas Attorney General will hold the right to bring a claim on behalf of an individual. If the social media platform fails to comply, the court can impose daily penalties. Governor Abbott noted that these online sites had become today's public squares where information must be allowed to flow freely. However, the present-day scenario is such that big tech often acts as the jury, determining whose viewpoints are valid and what perspective can be discussed. America was built on freedom of speech and healthy public debate, and efforts to silence conservative viewpoints on social media are wrong and weaken public discourse. I thank Senator Hughes for offering SB 12 to help protect Texans from being wrongfully censored on social media for voicing their political or religious viewpoints. With SB 12, Senator Hughes is taking a stand against big tech's political censorship and protecting Texans' right to freedom of expression, Abbott said in a statement. Hughes expressed great concern at American citizens getting censored on social media for not conforming to a narrow worldview approved by leftist ideologies. He argues that phone companies and cable companies cannot cut people off because of differing political or religious viewpoints. Since social media platforms are common carriers, they must not be allowed to discriminate in a manner that violates the First Amendment. Industry association TechNet said that lifting content restrictions could result in kids getting exposed to harmful information online. However, Hughes dismissed such concerns, stating that the legislation will only apply to political and religious speech and not any lewd, lascivious activity. The New York State Assembly will carry out a full investigation with the power to subpoena as the start of an impeachment inquiry against New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Allegations of sexual misconduct against the governor have now reached 6, with the latest one involving an incident with potential criminal activity. Cuomo released a statement last month and denied that he had inappropriately touched anyone. However, he did admit his workplace jokes may have been misconstrued. On Thursday, the Albany police stated that they had received a report from the governor's office, the New York State Executive Chamber, involving potential criminal activity. The allegation involved an unnamed female worker claiming the governor had groped her at his executive mansion last year. It came just as the Albany Times-Union recently reported on the allegation that Cuomo groped a female aide last year, making it the sixth allegation of sexual misconduct against the Democratic governor since last month. The Democratic conference is taking the first step toward impeachment by opening an investigation with full subpoena power to obtain facts and testimonies under oath, Democratic Assemblyman Ron Kim said in a statement obtained by Fox News Thursday. Some members, including myself, argued that we had enough admission to proceed with impeachment today, but the conference is leaning toward setting up the process and structure toward impeachment. The majority of state legislators have called for Cuomo's resignation, with 121 making the call. The count includes 65 Democrats and 56 Republicans, according to a tally by the Associated Press. The New York State Democratic Party Chair, J.S. Jacobs, calls for an investigation but hasn't called for Cuomo's resignation. Faced with another serious and disturbing allegation revealed last evening in the article in the Times-Union, it has become even more imperative that all of these matters be thoroughly investigated, he said in a statement. On Thursday, Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie signalled he was prepared to make a move on the issue. In light of the allegations concerning the governor over the last several weeks, I will be meeting with members in conference today on potential paths forward, he said. I recognise that within our party there have been differing views as to how we should proceed and as to what course of action the governor should take, he said. I respect the personal decision made by Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins and a large number of Democratic lawmakers calling for the governor's resignation. One of Cuomo's accusers, former aide Lindsey Boylan, spoke powerfully of the lack of action by Heastie. I literally cannot comprehend how little courage Carl Heastie must have to avoid doing the right thing, tweeted Lindsey Boylan. Survivors do not need a ridiculous political circus that is at best duplicative of an independent investigation already underway. We need accountability, not theatrics.